What is going on, everyone? Good morning. My name is Iceman. Welcome back to Falcon 4.0 Allied Force. We just finished we just finished air-to-air gunnery. So, doing snap mode, LCOS, and the EEGS, for attacking air targets, air-to-air air targets, so other aircraft in flight with the gun. Now we're gonna continue on, and we're gonna start with the missiles now. So this is gonna be really fun. We're starting mission 15, AIM-9 Sidewinder. I'm excited for this. So without further ado, let's do it. I will say my ticks are a little bit better today, so it should be I shouldn't be sniffling too much. Without further ado, let's do it, folks. Okay, so in this training mission, you will learn how to shoot the AIM-9 Sidewinder missile. The AIM-9 is a heat-seeking missile that has steadily evolved since it was first developed in the 1950s. Wow, I didn't know it was that old. Two different models of the AIM-9 are featured in Falcon 4.0 Allied Force. The older, rear aspect only AIM-9 Popper and the newer, all aspect AIM-9 Mike. And it's not in Falcon 4.0 Allied Force, I don't think, but nowadays you have the AIM-9 X-Ray as well, which has thrust vectoring capability, which is even better. The difference in these missiles can be seen in their envelopes, or WEZs. WEZ, Weapon Engagement Zone, shown in figure 15-1. So this is 15-1 here. Weapon engagement zones. The weapon engagement zone describes the area around the target in range and aspect that the missile can be successfully fired. AIM-9s are very simple to understand and employ. Aircraft engines produce heat, and the AIM-9 secure head tracks heat. Do note that you shouldn't fire near or at the sun, because the sun produces heat, and the AIM-9 seeker can go for the sun. So it can be, the sun is like a giant flare. So the AIM-9 Popper can only see the engine heat when looking up the target's tailpipe. So basically from the engines. So basically the AIM-9 Popper is not as sensitive at all. It's designed to only see extreme heat. The AIM-9 Mike, however, can see the heat from the target's engine from all aspects, or in other words, from 360 degrees around the target. So what that means is this is the AIM-9 Popper weapon engagement zone. So as long as you're in range, you have to be within this area, this little cone here, for the AIM-9 Popper to be able to see the target. So in the grey area, if you fire the missile, the AIM-9 Popper will be able to see the target and go get to the target. But if you were over here, or over here, or in front of them, head on, the missile will not be able to get to the target or see the target even. Conversely, the AIM-9 Mike weapon engagement zone, you can be anywhere here, or even out here, and the seeker, the AIM-9 Mike seeker, will be able to see the target. So it's more sensitive. AIM-9 mechanization. Let me do a sweet coffee. It's really early, as you can see. It's 8:36 in the morning right now, and I'm exhausted. I did not sleep well at all. The current model AIM-9 seeker heads can track targets before the missile is even released. The actual position of the seeker head is fed into the HUD so the pilot can see if the missile is tracking the intended target. This upgrade first arrived in the late 1970s and changed the way the missile was employed. Before this time, the seeker head of the older model AIM-9, so like the first model AIM-9, such as the Echo model used in Vietnam, was, quote, caged or fixed. So caged is a term basically means that the seeker head is fixed or it does not move. Think of it like in a cage, an animal in a cage. Animal in a cage cannot move, really. It can't go anywhere or change location or position. An animal in a cage is caged. It's fixed in its location or position, and that's why it's termed caged. So the seeker head cannot move when it's caged. These days, you can what's called uncage the missile, and what that will do is allow the seeker head to track the target and actually move around physically in the missile itself. Think of like uncaging an animal. If an animal is caged, it cannot move, but if you open the cage or uncage the animal, it will be able to walk around and, move around freely, and that's the important concept here. The pilot pointed the missile at the target, got a heat tone and let it fly. The seeker head would uncage, or gimbal, is also called gimbal, to look for the target only after it left the reel. The pilot never really knew if the missile was going to track the target until it was fired. Both the AIM-9 Popper and the AIM-9 Mike have seeker heads that uncage while the missile is still on the jet. The pilot can see the target in the HUD and then check that the missile is tracking the target. The position of the AIM-9 seeker head is displayed in the HUD as a diamond. This, quote, missile diamond is the primary AIM-9 cue to ensure that the missile is on the target. The other critical AIM-9 display in the HUD is the DOZ, or Dynamic Launch Zone, bracket. This bracket tells you if you are in range for an AIM-9 shot. It is important to realize that this DOZ is only present with a radar lock on the target. So what that means is if you do not lock onto the target with a situational awareness mode or SAM lock at the very least, you will not get a DOZ or dynamic launch zone. So you won't be able to tell the range to the target. So you need a radar lock. It can either be an STT, single target track, or SAM or situation awareness mode lock, and you'll get a DOZ that way. But you have to have some sort of lock, either a soft lock or hard lock, to get a DOZ. Figure 15-2 shows Falcon Allied Force AIM-9 HUD symbology. The DOZ bracket has several parts that are labeled in figure 15-2. Alright, so let's look at it. Figure 15-2. Alright, so it's figure 15-2 here, so there's a lot of symbology here. It's a little overwhelming, I can understand, but let's go through it here. RMAX 1 is the maximum range that you can shoot the missile at the target. So it doesn't tell you what's what, which is kind of shit, but RMAX 1 is the maximum range you can shoot the missile. So RMAX 1 is here, this line right here, okay? This top line right here. This is the DOZ, okay? This is the DOZ right here. So right here's RMAX. RMIN 1 is the minimum range that you can shoot the missile at the target. And RMIN, I believe, is this here. I think it's either this or this here. I believe it's this. This is RMIN right here. The very bottom line. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not entirely sure. I do not remember. It's not labeled, so it's kind of hard. So every missile has what's called a fuse delay on it. This is to prevent the missile from instantly blowing up when, quote, in range. Because if it didn't have a fuse delay, once you fire the missile, it would just blow up and it would destroy you. It would kill you if it didn't have a fuse delay. So it has a fuse delay so that the missile is inactive until a certain amount of time. It has a little timer in it that basically counts down or counts up, or however it works. I don't know, it's classified, but it has a timer in it that counts up or counts down or whatever, and once it hits, the time for it to activate, then the fuse is activated, and then it will blow up. So you have to be, if the target's in front of you, you have to be a certain distance from the target in order for the missile to fuse. To fuse and actually become activated after launch. AIM-2 represents the top of the maneuver zone of the DOZ. AIM-2 is a more realistic maximum range for a target that is maneuvering. Okay, that's important. So the AIM-2 is this here. This is AIM-2. This is box here. This is AIM-2. Actually, this might be AIM-1. Yeah, I believe so. So AIM-1 is the max. So let's backtrack. AIM-1 is the maximum range you can shoot the missile at the target. This is AIM-1 right here. Okay. Yeah. This is AIM-1, or maybe it's this. So okay. So I'm not sure which is AIM-1 and which of these lines is AIM-1. I know that this is because I'm thinking of how DCS works. I believe this is the maximum range of the missile itself. This is the maximum range you can fire the missile and have it potentially hit the target. And AIM-1 is here, here, I believe. Okay, top maneuver zone for the DOZ. AIM-2 is this here, this line here. AIM-2 represents the bottom of the maneuver zone of the DOZ. AIM-2 is a better cue for minimum range for a target that is maneuvering. So AIM-2 is this here. So AIM-2 is this bottom line here, and this is minimum range. So in this maneuver zone here, if a target's maneuvering and you are within this range here, this box, and this caret here is within this box, it means that if you fire the missile, even if the target maneuvers, you'll hit him. Unless he completely notches the missile. The DOZ bracket only provides kinematic information on a potential missile shot. Kinematics refers to the ability of the missile to come off the rail and make it to the target, not guide on the target, just get to the target. Any shot between AIM-1 and AIM-1 can theoretically make it to the target. Shots between AIM-2 and AIM-2, however, have a higher probability of making it to a target that is maneuvering to avoid the missile. Remember that the AIM-9 is a heat-seeking missile, and besides kinematics, or the ability to reach the target, the missile must also be able to track the heat tone generated by the target. That's important. The heat tone is an audio signal. The heat tone is simply a tone fed into the pilot's headset that provides feedback on the quality of the missile track. If the tone is faint, the missile is barely tracking the target, even though you can see the missile diamond in the HUD over the target. If the tone is loud, then the missile has a solid track. There is no other good rule of thumb for the heat tone except the level or intensity of the tone. You just have to get a feel for the AIM-9 heat tone. This brings up a very important point about the AIM-9. You do need a radar lock on the target to provide DOZ information in the HUD, but you do not need a radar lock to shoot an AIM-9. So what that means is you can be without a radar lock. So the AIM-9 tracks the heat, right? So you can theoretically not, you can even have your radar completely, the master switch off, no radar. You could just not have your radar on at all. And you can just select an AIM-9, get that missile tone, track a target, and fire the missile, even without radar. The AIM-9 is a launch and leave heat-seeking missile. Launch and forget. Fire and forget. Meaning, once you fire it, you can just turn away. You don't need to keep tracking the target or anything. It's on its own after that. All you need to shoot an AIM-9 is to be in range and have a heat tone from the target. You can use your own eyes to estimate the range to the target for an AIM-9 shot, where you can see the seeker head position in the HUD via the missile diamond. Missile diamond is that there. That's the diamond there. That's where the seeker is. And this is like the radar lock. And this is the seeker position here, the diamond. If the missile diamond is on a target and you estimate that you're in a range, shoot the missile. The exception to this procedure is the case of the rear aspect AIM-9 popper. With the AIM-9 popper, you must also be behind the target, as illustrated in figure 15-1. While no lock shots are possible and necessary at times, it does help to have a radar lock for two reasons. The first is that a radar lock will provide you with the DLZ bracket, which is better than your eyeballs for estimating range. Second, the radar can be used to point the AIM-9 seeker head at the target, so you won't have to point the jet at the target to keep the AIM-9 missile looking in the right direction. So what that means is, when you have a radar lock and you uncage the missile, the seeker head will just go whoosh, straight to the target. But if you don't have a radar lock, you have to point your F-16 at the target, the seeker head manually at the target, and then uncage it. So radar locks are always preferred. In Falcon Allied Force, the AIM-9 is almost always slave to the radar. If the radar is not available, then the missile will find the first target it sees in the HUD and lock on. By using slave with a radar lock on. So slave is a radar mode. With the radar lock on, the pilot has both a missile diamond queue over the target and a DLZ bracket provided by the radar to ensure that he is in range of the target. So what that means is the seeker head will slave to the radar, meaning the radar, whatever target the radar is locked onto, the seeker head will navigate to that if uncaged. By using slave with the radar lock on, the pilot's put the missile diamond queue over the target and DLZ bracket provided by the radar is in range of the target. Remember that the missile diamond tells you where the missile seeker head is pointing. If no target is locked up on the radar, it is still possible to lock the missile onto a target. Press uniform key to uncage the seeker head. The missile diamond will start to move erratically around the HUD, looking for heat sources. If one is found, the missile automatically locks on. You can use uncaging the seeker for a sneak approach on an enemy plane. With radar turned off, you have a chance to close up unnoticed by the target. Once you can see the target in the HUD, put the caged missile diamond onto the target, uncage the missile, and you get a lock. So you get a lock with the seeker. You do not get a lock with the radar in this case. Because if the radar's off, you cannot lock on with the radar because the radar's off. But so there's a difference. Keep this in mind. You can lock on with the radar. You can get the radar lock, and you can get a seeker lock. So there's a difference. The missile seeker can lock onto a target separate from the radar. Okay. The only drawback of this method is that you do not have any range information, as there's no radar lock and thus no dynamic launch zone. Oh god, I'm tired. Hold on. I need another coffee. How to call up your air-to-air missiles. There are two basic ways to view your AIM-9 missile symbology. The dogfight mode and the standalone AIM-9 mode. To call up the AIM-9 modes in the standalone mode, press return until the AIM-9 appears. In the dogfight mode, the AIM-9 is called up along with the EEGS gunsight for an air-to-air engagement. In dogfight mode, as shown in figure 15-3, you can use both the gun and the AIM-9 missile. Call up the dogfight mode by pressing Delta, which is like flipping the dogfight switch on the F-16 throttle. Only missile symbology is displayed in the other AIM-9 missile mode. In this standard, so this is dogfight mode, figure 15-3. In this standalone mode, you get a much cleaner AIM-9 display, but you use EEGS gun sight. Figure 15-4 shows the AIM-9 missile mode. So there's figure 15-4 AIM-9 missile mode. You lose the EEGS gun symbology, but dogfight mode, you get the gun symbology and the AIM-9 missile mode, so you get both. Call up the AIM-9 missile symbology, pressing return to cycle through your air-to-air weapons, so the AIM-9 weapon shows up on the SMS page of the MFD, Source Management System page of the multifunction display. You can also tell to have AIM-9 active by the AIM-9 missile tone, so you'll hear the tone. So this is dogfight mode. This is AIM-9 Seeker standalone mode. As you continue to press return, you will cycle through all the air-to-air missiles that you uploaded on your jet. When AIM-120s appear, they label MRM. The AIM-9 missile tone will stop. One last very important point. You can have both AIM-9 poppers and AIM-9Ms loaded. Cycle between these two missile types by pressing the option select button number 7 button next to the currently loaded weapon on the MFD multifunction display. At the bottom of the display, you will see the hardpoint numbers 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9. You can also select other missiles of the currently selected missile type by pushing either OSB on the left or right of these figures, here. Step through all of the air-to-air missiles loaded on your jet. Training mission overview. In this training mission, you'll practice using AIM-9M and AIM-9 Popper Sidewinders to shoot down enemy aircraft. Initial conditions. Airspeed, 400 knots. Altitude, 3,500 feet MSL, means sea level. Throttle setting, mid-range. Configuration, gear up with 3 AIM-9 Poppers and 3 AIM-9 mics loaded. Weapons mode, navigation. Training mission aids. 2 aids are available to assist you in this training mission. The first is the labels function. To see the targets more easily, turn on labels by pressing Shift Lemur. The labels are displayed over the vehicles and other objects. The other aid is freeze mode, not going to use it. Enter freeze mode by pressing Shift Popper to pause the simulation but still use the radar and all other avionics. If you are in freeze mode, you can lock your Sidewinder onto the target, but your plane will not move through the sky. You must press Shift Popper again to see the missile guide toward the target. Mission description. The mission starts with 3 different aircraft in front of your jet. The targets are the same ones used in Training Mission 12, but in this mission they are further away. The first target to pursue is the Tu-16 Badger bomber, which is in a gentle right-hand turn. The next is a MiG-29 Falcon, which starts line abreast with the Badger, but will start a more aggressive left-hand turn. Both of these targets are at low aspect. You are looking at their tails. The last target is the IR-76, which is slightly low and 4 nautical miles away, coming straight at you. In this mission, you can lock on the radar, which absorbs the AIM-9M Seeker head at the target. The all aspect AIM-9M can be used to shoot at all 3 targets. The AIM-9 Popper, in contrast, is limited to rear aspect and can only be used when you're within 40 degrees of the target's tail. The Badger and the Fulcrum are good targets to practice AIM-9 Popper shots, since they are presenting their rear aspects at the start of the flight. The AIM-9 missile is very easy to use. Follow these steps. Step 1. Load training mission 15 AIM-9 Sidewinder from the training section. Number 2. Switch to dogfight mode by pressing Delta. Step 3. Lock onto one of the targets using an ACM Air Combat Maneuvering Radar sub-mode. Step 4. Freeze the simulation by pressing Shift Popper. Step 5. If you do not have the air-to-air source management set mode called up, press return. Next, press Option Select button number 7 until A-9NP appears. The AIM-9 Popper Seeker head should slave to the target. Check to see that the AIM-9 missile diamond in the HUD is over the desired target. Number 6. Listen for a distinct missile growl or tone. Number 7. Check your DOZ bracket in the HUD. The caret, which looks like a sideways V, should be between Rmax 1 and Rmin 1. Unfreeze the simulation pressing Shift Popper. If you're not in range, push the power up and get close to the target. Step 9. If you're in range and have a good high-pitched heat tone, shoot, look, and shoot again if the missile fails to guide. Shoot the missile by pressing spacebar or joystick pickle button. Practice taking shots with both AIM-9 poppers and AIM-9 mics. Remember that the AIM-9 popper is a rear aspect missile that can only lock onto the stern of the target, into the engine, so to say, while the AIM-9 mic is an all-aspect missile that can lock onto the target from any angle. Alright, so that's AIM-9 Sidewinder. Alright, that's it for the ground school material. Let's get into Falcon 4.0 Lead Force. Oh my god, I'm outrageously exhausted. Let's check the setup real quick here. Oh my god, okay. Let's check keys real quick. God, I'm tired. Alright, training. Alright, what are we doing? AIM-9 Sidewinder, 15. Learn to use rear and all aspect heat-seeking missiles. Alright, let's do it. Commit. God, I'm tired. What is that? Let's just do. Oh shit. Okay. I didn't mean to do that, but okay. Alright, so we got AIM-9 mics here. We got AIM-9 poppers here. Well, that's a little weird. We have. Yeah, this should be. It should be like this. That's kind of weird, but whatever. Alright, let's do it. Okay. Sorry, I am so fucking tired right now. Alright, so we got IO-76 coming toward us. We don't have a MiG-29 or anything. Oh, there's a MiG-29. Look, he wants to attack us. Look at he's probably gonna fire a missile. Or something. There's a MiG-29. Yeah, he's firing his guns. AIM-9 poppers. Alright, so to make it easy, let's actually the 8.6 fired back last time, so let's go for the IO-76, because that's not going to fire back at us. So let's do that. Let's go for the IO-76. So, let's do without a radar lock first, and let's do dogfight mode just to show you. Okay. So if we want dogfight mode, Control Shift Delta for me. See that? Hear that tone? That tone is the AIM-9, okay? So this diamond in the middle there. Oh fuck. This diamond right here is the seeker head. So right now it's caged. If I were to uncage it, and we don't have a radar right now. See, we're override. We don't have a radar. If I were to uncage it, it goes around to find a target. Okay. But let's go over to the R-76. And since we have EEGS, we can technically fire the guns since we're in dogfight mode. Watch. Let's fire at the ground here. Can fire at the ground. Okay. Oh. It got something. That's weird. Alright, so you hear when I mouse when that diamond goes over the IR-76 there. Fucking hell, come on. And we are AIM-9 LM. Let's do the AIM-9 poppers here. So you'll see when we put the seeker head, that little diamond over the IR-76, that tone will change. The problem is we're not close enough. And since we have to be rear aspect. And we are, which is a little weird. I think we need the AIM-9 mics because the engines on the IR-76 are not very hot that I know of. So we'll do AIM-9 mic for this, just to show you. Put the seeker head on the IR-76. There you go. Hear that sound? When it changed? We can fire the missile now if we wanted to. And if we uncage the seeker, it will lock on to the IR-76. Watch. That's the sound you want, okay? Now we can actually fire the missile. So now the seeker head of the missile is tracking the target. See, if I move to the right, seeker head's changing. Or seeker head's moving with the target. If I cage it again, it'll go right back, okay? See? So, yeah, right now it's caged, so it's fixed. But if we uncage again... There we go. And if we move out of gimbal limit, we'll lose the lock. See? Now it's going to elsewhere. And we cage it again. Now the MiG-29 will be the same thing. Although it's pretty far away. 8.6, I don't know where that went. And another way we could get to AIM-9 is do air to air. There we go. We can do cool if we want, but we don't have to. So now we got the AIM-9 seeker symbology there. See that? And we can still do the same thing. We can still uncage if we wanted to. That's without a radar lock. Let's get behind him. A little bit afterburner. That guy's going quick. Holy fucking shit. You know what? Let's restart. Yeah, let's restart. Alright. AIM-9 popper. Let's do that. So we need rear aspect for this. Okay? So if we go in front of this guy, we're not going to get a lock. Or the Seeker's not going to chuck him. See? We have to be behind him for the Seeker to get him. Like that. Smell the effect up. Like that, see? AIM-9 popper. So this is all without a radar lock. There we go, see? So the AIM-9 popper can be fired now, if we wanted. We can also uncage. And the Seeker head is now tracking. If we cage again, goes back to the center. We could actually fire right now if we wanted to, even though it's caged. It doesn't matter. And now we're uncaged. If we go out of gimbal limit, we'll lose the lock. Any second. There we go. Cage the missile again. That's all without a radar lock. Now with a radar lock, let's do ACM, bullseye. With a radar lock, you get a DOZ. Should anyway. And you got lock, see? And the missile's automatically caged. So the Seeker is still tracking the target, but I can't really see it very well. And it's still, we uncaged it now. So, because we're in slave mode. Well, yeah. So, it's kind of weird the way it's working right now. Technically, we're supposed to uncage it like this, and then the Seeker... So, like... Let me undo the lock. So... We can still uncage it like that, right? And still get a lock, if we want. But, like, when we... It's kind of hard to explain. Hold on. Let me undo the lock again. So... When we get the lock... What's supposed to happen, so it's not working completely the way it should. What's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to get a radar lock with that box around the target, but I'm not supposed to have the Seeker head over the target as well. Look, you see how the Seeker head is on the target right now? It shouldn't be. It should be caged in the middle. It should be caged right now. It is caged actually, but it should not be following the target right now. This is a bug. This is not supposed to work this way. The only time it's supposed to be over the target, like it is now, the little diamond, the only time it's supposed to be tracking the target is if I uncage. Oh, that's not supposed to happen at all. Oh yeah, that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to automatically cage to the target, from what I understand. Yeah, see, the way it's working right now is not right. It's not supposed to be doing it this way. Yeah, it's not supposed to switch its origin. That's a bit weird. Yeah, see, it's trying to... yeah, it's all buggy right now. It's trying to uncage from the... it's trying to uncage from the target, and it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, well... yeah, it's not supposed to do that. But yeah, so... anyways, let's stand by our radar. So we don't have radar. Let's actually get out of... we can actually turn our radar off completely. Like that. Radar's off. Completely. And we can put the seeker head on the target. Keep in mind, we have to be the rear aspect, which it is now. Get it a bit closer. I know the target's not maneuvering, but it doesn't matter. So we don't have a radar lock, right? Our radar's off, as you can see with no rad up there. So we get that tone, so we can fire the missile even though it's caged, and it will track the target and get to the target. Watch. Alright, Fox 2. AIM-9 popper. Oh, it didn't track. Ah. It's not supposed to happen like that. It's supposed to track the target. Let's try again. Fire. There we go. Oh, it didn't track the target again. What the fuck? Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Oh, wait, what? That did it hit? It hit him apparently. Alright, let's uncage this time and show you what happens. Alright, fire the target. Fox 2. There we go. Splash 1. Beautiful kill. That was beautiful. Alright. So we got AIM-9 mics. Let's we can also fire on the ground too. Watch. Like, we can just fire the weapon if we wanted. And it will hit the ground. Pretty cool, huh? And we can't use our gun because we're not in dogfight mode. If we went to dogfight mode, we'd be able to, like now, dogfight. You can fire the gun and fire missiles at the same time. See? We're in the water. Oh shit! I blew up a tree. That's cool. Alright. Let's restart. Alright, we'll do so that was all without radar lock. Now I'm gonna do with radar lock. Oh, excuse me. Let's do AIM-9 max this time. Oh, damn it. There we are. Let's do to air. And then we're doing a radar lock this time. Oh, it's switched. There we go. So with the radar lock, we get actually, where'd the IR-76 go? I don't want the MiG-29. Oh, he's over there. Fuck it, let's go to the MiG-29. MiG-29 is too small and too far away. Fuck it, let's go. Let's go elsewhere. Let's get the other one. Getting certain heat signatures, it's weird. 76. I got the lock. Alright, now it's flashing. So I guess it was a bug. Now it's flashing. If we fire the missile now, it should not track the target. Yeah, it should not track the target. So now we're in the dynamic launch zone, as you see on the right hand side by the altitude tape. Hold on. There we go. So it's working properly now. I guess the AIM-9 popper was bugged. Or something. I don't know. Alright. So it's flashing, meaning we need to uncage the missile, but let's try it without uncaging. Fire. Alright, it tracked anyway. Okay. Good hit. Alright, let's uncage once we get in range. Let's uncage. Fire. Since we are about to be within the no escape range. Right there. Alright, we're within the no escape range, so even if he maneuvers, he's going to die. Goodbye. He's dead. Goodbye. And for fun, let's go after the MiG-29. That's basically it regarding the missiles. Let's go after the MiG-29. Actually, yeah, let's restart because alright. One more. Let's go to the 76. Alright, we're near minimum range. Near minimum range. We're not at minimum range, but we're near minimum range. See how the dynamic launch zone is dynamic, it like keeps moving and changing. Alright, let's do it. Fire. And then let's cage it. Fire again. 2 missiles. Goodbye. Oh, that was weird. Fuck it. Just be a dick. Oh, one of them in the track. I needed to uncage the missile. Hold on. I needed to uncage it twice. Hold on. I was being stupid. We've got 2 left. Let's do the last 2. Go after that MiG. 2 AIM-9 poppers left. Let's go Winchester on this asshole. Damn, he's quick. So I have to remember to uncage a second time. How far away is this dude? Shit. Let's actually not go after him because he's quick. Alright, let's go dogfight mode. Oh. So we can fire the gun if we wanted. Alright, fire. 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 four fucking missiles. Go away. He was fucked. How many missiles do I have? 2 AIM-9. 2 AIM-9 poppers. Oh, there's one down there. So can I watch it? No. 0? No. I don't know how to watch the missile. Alright, let's just fire them to the ground. Let's get rid of our gun. Fire the missiles. Beautiful. Huh. That was fun. Alright, so that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. It's really easy. It's not that complicated. Once you get the hang of it. It's hard at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy and it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. So yeah, just remember you can with a radar lock, when you have a radar lock, the missile is caged, right? Initially. If you have a radar lock, you get a DOZ, and if you have the missile caged, and you have a radar lock, you will still need to move and you want to fire the missile, you still, unless you uncage it, you will need to put the seeker head manually onto the target and fire the missile. If you have it caged. This is with a radar lock and without a radar lock. However, if you don't want to have to do that, and you want it to just slave straight to the radar lock, then you will need to uncage the missile. Let me show you real quick. Alright, dogfight mode. So you know how in order to get a lock, so like in order to fire the missile like this without radar, you need to put the seeker on the target. Like this. And fire. Oh, fuck, it hit him. That was awesome. I didn't expect that to happen, but okay. That I was just making an example, but okay, I guess it hit him. So you know how, like, unless it's caged like this, you have to put the seeker on the target and fire. That's if you don't have, like, that's if the seeker's caged. So right now if we fire, we'll hit the target. Right now if we fire, the missile will not track the target. If we have a lock, it's the same thing, okay? Okay? Our missile is technically caged, so it should be in the middle of the HUD. It should not be on the target right now, okay? So if we fire, it should not track the target, even though it is, okay? It's not supposed to work this way. It's supposed to not track the target unless we uncage it like this. Now if we fire, if it was working properly, now if we fire, it will track the target. But if we cage it like this and we fire, it should just do this. We're just doing now. Just go straight to the ground or elsewhere or whatever. If we have a lock, and the missile is caged, mind you, again, it's not working properly. It's not implemented, I guess, in Falcon 4.0 Allied Force properly. But if we have a lock like we did, and it's caged, the seeker is caged, it should not, unless we move the diamond on the target and fire, like we did without a radar lock, unless we do that, it should not track the target. It's tracking the target for some reason. It's not working properly, but unless we do that, you know, it's not working properly. But what's supposed to happen again is, if we have the seeker head, if we have a radar lock and we do not uncage the missile should just go dumb. Okay? In the real world, from what I understand. Apparently in Allied Force it will still track the target. It's not supposed to. Only once you uncage the missile with a radar lock like that, should it actually track the missile. Okay? From what I understand. Although in the ground school material there it said that the AIM-9 popper or whatever would, or maybe it's the Echo version, I don't remember. Perhaps it is working properly, I don't know. Perhaps it uncages itself once it comes off the rail. If that's the case, then it is working properly. But at least in DCS, excuse me, when you fire the missile and it's uncaged, and it's caged with a radar lock, it will not track the target. Unless you have the seeker head on the target. Okay? So, with all that said, that's AIM-9 employment in Falcon 4.0 Allied Force. Yeah, it's AIM-9 seeker employment in Falcon 4.0 Allied Force. So that's all for this part, guys. If you'd like to smash the like button, like a button, see you comment. I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.